As the controversial education reforms continue to polarize political discourse, women's organizations representing the National People's Power staged a protest in Matugama today. According to protesters, the demonstrations were held in a bid to publicly denounce disparaging remarks made by the opposition against women in parliament. Joining the protests, NPP MP Nilanthi Kottahachi criticized the opposition for engaging in cheap politics and denounced attempts made by the opposition to disrespect women in parliament. Meanwhile, protests against the government's new education reforms raged on in Matugama today, in close proximity to the statue of CWW Kannangara, the father of free education. The protest was organised by several opposition parties including Samagi Jana Balawegaya, the Sarva Jana Balaya, the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna and the United National Party. A public petition was also signed at the event, calling for an immediate resignation of the Minister of Education, Higher Education and Vocational Education. Party leaders, including opposition leader Sajith Premadasa and Sarva Jana Balaya leader MP Dilip Jayavira, paid tribute to the statue of late CWW Kannangara before the inception of the protest.
This is the homeland of CWW Kannangara. The first central college built by him stands behind me. It is with gratitude to CWW Kannangara I reveal to you that 4 of my colleagues in Parliament completed their education with me at this central college. While the country's free education system gradually deteriorates, we have gathered here to demonstrate public disapproval against these arbitrary reforms. A misconception is being brewed at the moment. Some try to allege that we were opposed to the Prime Minister simply because she is a woman. We have nothing personal against the Prime Minister. We are simply protesting the government's proposals. In fact, the greatest harm to women and children will be perpetrated if these reforms are allowed to be implemented. Therefore, we urge all protesters who protest us nearby to stand with us if they really love Sri Lanka's women and children. Here today, before the statue of CWW Kannangara, we firmly affirm that we will not let any harm befall free education. JVP and NPP activists opposing us nearby think that Dr. Harani Amarasuriya alone is responsible for these education reforms. That is not the case. She is in fact a good person and we personally respect her. However, she is incompetent. Implementing education reforms is a very serious matter. She gathered a few members of her party, put together a few papers and called them education reforms. Reforms cannot be implemented that way. Chaos has ensued because of this incompetence. The no confidence motion will be tabled in Parliament because the education reforms are weak. Ever since assuming power, the government's sole objective has been promoting LGBTQ rights. They seek to promote same-sex marriages while heterosexual couples struggle to put together a marriage ceremony. This is their objective. We have come together disregarding party divisions, committed to preserving free education, the last arrow in the quiver of many impoverished families. Many on this stage today got to where they are because of free education. Standing here before the statue of CWW Kannangara, we are currently witnessing the sunset over the horizon of free education. The ensuing controversy is not in fact about the introduction of modules or web links. What is clear is that many foreign powers intend to dismantle free education. Therefore, if we remain silent, we will lose free education, the lifeline of all Sri Lankans. That is why we repeatedly urge all Sri Lankans to not be divided on this issue. Let us rally behind this common struggle.
අපේ කම රැකගෙන සભ්‍යත්වයේ සංස්කෘතියේ ඉතිහාසයේ රැකගෙන අපි අලුත් වෙන්නට ඕන.
We must progress while preserving our identity, civility, culture and history. Reforms are necessary. There is no dispute on that fact. However, progress must not condone obscenity in education. As the government went about planning reforms, we proposed the utilization of the Westminster system of drafting reforms. We called for white papers and green papers to be drafted. When we made this suggestion in good faith, they mocked us and claimed that they will print the reforms in whatever color we require. This incompetent government, which lacks awareness on how to implement reforms, reforms, then limited the reforms to a PowerPoint presentation. We have no intention to infringe upon individuality. However, a personal preference must never be imposed as a public policy. This is a fact that we must understand thoroughly.
හැබැයි කාගේවත් පුද්ගලික ප්‍රතිපත්තීන් රටේ ජාතික ප්‍රතිපත්තිය බවට ප්‍රවර්ධනය කරන්නට බැහැ. ඔන්න ඔය කාරණාව හොඳට අවබෝධ කරගන්න.